Hello, friends from across the nation and around the world. I'm Martin, and you, once again, are listening to Dad's Bedtime Stories. Tonight, I got the perfect suggestion to continue my Dragon Knight series, so that's what we're gonna do. Let's check it out.
Hi, my name is Brielle, and I'm from Beaumont, Alberta. I'd like to suggest a story for the Dragon Knights series. In the story, you meet a girl whose name is Jules, and she links with the nature dragon whose name is Vine. And unfortunately, when you're going back to camp, you encounter more of the king's dragons, and he added a lot more soldiers so he could try and get you again because he was very mad at your last escape. And he included nature, wind, and fire this time. Thanks. I love your podcast. Goodbye.
Well, Brielle from Alberta, that is an excellent suggestion. Yeah, I've been waiting for people to put in suggestions about different dragons and different dragon riders, so perhaps there's others out there who, have an idea for, like, an air dragon, or a fire dragon, or an earth dragon, because we are going to need those suggestions to finish this series. But today will be about a nature dragon named Vine. I think that's what you said anyways. I heard Vine. So, it's that time again. Time to get as comfy as you can in that bed. Close your eyes and imagine yourself doing what the kid in the story does. You wake up inside your makeshift dirt and rock hut, the one made by Ellie, your elemental dragon, using her earth powers, of course. You look over beside you to see Bethy stretching and getting out of bed as well. The two of you make your way outside and find yourselves atop a mountain, a forested mountain high above the world. Both Ellie, the elemental dragon, and Luna, the water dragon, are curled up around a campfire. Ellie perks up immediately, seeing you awake. "Oh, you are awake. Do you need some breakfast?" Ellie asks. In response, your stomach grumbles. "I can take care of that." Ellie unleashes a breath of green energy down into the ground. And soon, a whole bunch of vines, trees, shrubs, and plants start to grow instantly. Apple trees, pear trees, peach trees, vines full of grapes. There's raspberries, strawberries, blueberries, and pretty much any kind of fruit you could imagine. Once again, you and Bethy eat your fill. "Now, what should we do?" Ellie asks. "Yes, what should we get up to?" Luna adds. "Well, there's always time to train," you say. And so, you do. You, Bethy, Ellie, and Luna make your way to a nearby stream. Once again, you and Bethy connect yourselves to your dragon, or to the part of your dragon that is connected to the water. And once again, you begin moving the water back and forth. You practice shooting it up into the air, freezing it with the clench of your fist, and releasing it when you're ready. You practice for a long while until Ellie suddenly gets frightened. Oh dear, Ellie says. What's wrong? You ask. I am sensing something bad. We must go. Quickly, climb on, Ellie orders. You're not really sure what's going on, but it seems like you better listen. You quickly walk over and climb atop the elemental dragon. Bethy does the same to Luna. We must go quickly, Ellie says, and then she summons a gust of wind. Ellie and Luna spread their wings and allow the wind to carry them up into the air, high in the sky, moving faster than any normal dragon who was simply flapping its wings could move. Where are we going? You ask. I don't know, but I know we must go, and we must go this way, Ellie says. Okay. You continue to fly for a long time, until you eventually come to what Ellie must have been worried about. There, down there, Ellie says. You look down to see, well, a large green dragon surrounded by a whole bunch of other dragons. Ellie, I think this looks more like something we need to run away from, you say. No, says Ellie. I sense a dragon knight. We must help. Sure enough, as you look below, a figure clad in green dragon armor jumps up on top of the dragon. Vines shoot out of the ground, and a battle begins. The other dragons, fire dragons, water dragons, wind dragons, earth dragons, and even other nature dragons, all attack at once. The green dragon, along with its rider, are very, very good, though. They jump and dodge out of the way. They send vines flying, tying up the other riders, and even the dragons when needed. The dragon rider leaps through the air, being shot up by, well, vines and trees that suddenly spring out of the ground. You watch as the rider does a perfect front flip and chops other vines being sent by other nature dragons in half. They dodge fire, water, ice, but eventually they're blown back by a huge gust of air. We must help, Ellie says, and without hesitation, she dives down. Luna follows. You look at Bethy for a second as you dive down on your dragons, and you give her a little nod. You summon your own dragon armor, black armor with all sorts of different colors running through it, colors for each of the elements. Bethy does the same, summoning bright blue armor equipped with a shield and a sword of her own. Ellie unleashes a burst of fire towards the attacking dragons, and Luna a blast of ice. The dragons fly backwards as Ellie plummets into the ground, shooting rock up into the air. She whips around and smashes the rock with her tail, sending it flying towards the other dragons. "Ah, that's them," one of the attackers says. "Those are the ones we were actually looking for. Get them." You, Ellie, Luna, and Bethy stand between the attacking dragons and the new nature dragon rider. "Remember," you say, "go for the riders. Without their riders, the dragons won't know what to do, and the riders have no connection like we do." The others nod in understanding. Ellie throws up a huge rock wall to block a barrage of attacks, and then she spins around and smashes into it, sending rocks flying in all different directions. The rocks hit various different riders, knocking them off of their dragons. As they fly off, the new nature dragon sends vines curling through the air, tangling up the riders, wrapping around their mouths and stopping them from being able to talk. Maybe she's stopping them from being able to communicate, you wonder. A plume of flame shoots towards you, but Ellie, somehow out of the air itself, summons a wall of water, putting the flames out. She then jumps into the air, grabs a hold of the wind, and shoots it towards the enemies. The wind catches 3 of the dragons and their riders and sends them flying backwards. She then unleashes a blast of rock straight from her mouth and takes out the 3 riders. But the thing is, you are wildly outnumbered. No matter how many dragons and riders Ellie takes out, there's more there to fight. You decide that it's time for you to do your part. As Ellie faces off against a team of rock dragons, you look behind you to see a team of water dragons attacking. They send a blast of water straight towards you. You turn around, jump off of your dragon, and grab the water out of the air using your mind. You spin it around yourself and send it back in their direction, not aiming for the dragons, but the riders. You catch 3 of them with blasts of water. You press them up against a tree and freeze the water by clenching your fist. As soon as the riders are taken care of, the dragons just sort of sit there and look around. Obviously, they're under some sort of control and they can't do anything on their own. Vines suddenly shoot out of nowhere, wrapping around your body, tangling your arms and legs. Unfortunately, you can't reach your sword. It's still in its sheath. You focus your mind and try to grab a hold of the water when the new dragon rider jumps out of nowhere. She slices the vines apart using her sword and shoots more vines up into the air towards the dragons that attacked you. Again, the vines wrap around their necks, around their legs, but most importantly, around their riders, pulling the riders off and tying them up against a tree. The trees then glow a bright green color as the new dragon rider focuses. Then they sort of grow around the bad dragon riders, trapping them where they stand. Things are starting to look up. You run back over towards Ellie when a huge gust of wind pushes against you. It begins to spin around you in a circle, creating a sort of cyclone of air. You see 3 air dragons, along with their riders, flying around you in circles. They are pulling the oxygen out of the air, Ellie says. We must act quickly. She once again stomps on the ground, sending boulders flying up. Then, one by one, she shoots the boulders into the air, and one by one, they collide with one of the air dragons, sending their riders flying. Quickly, get on! "We must get out of here," Ellie says. You run back towards the dragon, jump up in the air, and land on her back. Just as Ellie is about to take off, fire dragons fly in, unleashing a huge blast of flame. Luckily, Luna is nearby. She pulls water out of a nearby stream and splashes it against the attack. As the dragons fly overhead, the new nature dragon shoots vines up out of the ground, tangling around the fire dragon's feet. Luna flies up in the air and unleashes a blast of ice, taking out all of the riders from the fire dragons. "We must go, now," Ellie says, "before more come. Friends, spread your wings." The dragons do exactly that, and Ellie summons the wind once again, lifting the dragons up and away from the forest. The dragons point themselves forward and form a sort of little formation of 3, with Ellie at the front and Luna and the new nature dragon at the back. The wind carries you higher and higher, very, very quickly. Ellie then closes her eyes and creates a sort of bubble around you once again, a bubble of invisibility. The air glimmers, and soon all of you are, well, invisible. "We must find a safe place," Ellie says. And so, for the rest of the afternoon, you fly. You fly over mountains and over trees, over lakes and over rivers, until once again you come to a series of mountains surrounded by forest. You drop down at the base of the mountains, and there you climb off your dragon and allow your dragon armor to disappear. "Oh, that was crazy," you say. "Yes, that was crazy," Bethy says. "Are you okay, new dragon rider?" You look towards the new dragon rider, who's still covered in green dragon armor. The armor glows and then disappears, leaving behind a kid about your age. "I think we're okay," she says. "My name's Jules, and this is my dragon Vine. I never thought I'd find some of the others." We never thought we would either. This is Bethy and her dragon Luna, and this is Ellie, an elemental dragon. Vine pokes her head in. "An elemental dragon. Things are looking up." Jules explains how, a few months ago, she came across a dragon egg in a very similar cave to the ones that you found Ellie and Luna in. She explains that since then, they've been living in the forest. She's been learning the ways of nature magic, and generally they've just been hiding. Until today, of course. "You were amazing out there. Do you think you could teach me some of those moves?" you ask. "Well, I guess I probably could. You do have a link to an elemental dragon, so you should be able to learn nature magic. Have you tried before?" she asks. A little. I've done a little bit of fire, and I've gotten pretty good with water after working with Luna and Bethy. But I really haven't captured the whole growing vines out of the ground thing, you say. Well, I'm sure Vine can teach you. I think I better work on water, though. You two have fun with the whole nature thing, Bethy says. And then she and Luna walk over towards a nearby stream. Bethy immediately practices moving the water once again. You look back towards Jules and Vine. Ellie walks up beside you. Well, I think I could show you a thing or two, Vine says. You see, nature is the element of life, and the first thing to know is that all living things are connected. You must reach into that connection through your own connection to Ellie here. From there, all you must do is love. Love and ask the things to do what you wish. If you wish for a tree to grow, connect to it and ask it to. Okay. Why love, though? Why not? Vine answers. Do you not love yourself? Do you think a tree will grow for you if you send it hate? You think about that for a second and realize that no, probably not. People and things tend to be much more cooperative when you're nice to them and kind of give off good vibes. Okay. I'll try. Good. Let's start with that little blade of grass there. Sit down and focus. You do just that, sitting down cross-legged in the grass, looking down at the single blade of grass sticking up out of the ground. Now, focus first on your connection to Ellie and her connection to nature. You close your eyes and you find your way to that connection once more, the one that allows you to know where Ellie is at all times, the ones you reach into for both fire and water. You search with your mind through the different connections that Ellie has, until you find one that feels, well, green and happy. You move your mind into that connection, and a strong feeling of connectedness takes over you. You soon feel as if you can sense all of the living things around you. The trees, the grass, the leaves, the bushes, they all suddenly feel connected, as if they're different parts of your mind. You open up your eyes and look down at the single blade of grass. You imagine the grass growing, and kindly, using the thoughts in your head, you ask it to do that. The grass slowly rises up. It gets thicker and taller until it shoots into the air, transformed into a gigantic vine. Very good. Now try with some of the other things. You and Jules spend the rest of the day practicing growing things out of the ground, making trees rise higher making grass shoot into vines and wind around wherever you need it to go. And by the time you're done, you've created a sort of little forest oasis. You've grown walls of vines around in a circle, gigantic trees towering overhead and blocking you from the weather. At the same time, Luna and Bethy have practiced moving the water again and again and again. You start to feel kind of tired. "Oh, that took a lot out of me," you say. "What do you say we all have a little rest?" "That sounds like a good idea," Jules says. Should we just set up camp here under the trees?" she asks. I think I have a better idea. Ellie, do your thing." "Okay, got it. I guess we're gonna need a bigger house than normal. Let's see here." Ellie jumps up in the air and stomps on the ground. Out of nowhere, a much larger house shoots up. A house bigger than the one she's made before. A house made entirely out of rock, with a little wooden door. What is this?" she asks. Well, Ellie, I guess, has some skills." You show Jules inside the home and, well, both of you are blown away. It's much larger than the houses she made before. This time it not only has a whole bunch of beds in it, but it also has a little sitting area with a couch and some chairs, as well as a sort of countertop made of wood. "Do you like it?" Ellie asks from outside. Yeah, this is amazing," you say. You, Bethy, and Jules make your way over to one of the beds. You pull back the blankets that seem to be made of leaves that are sewn together, and you lay down on the very, very comfortable beds made of some type of silky moss. You place your head on the pillow that, despite what it looks like, is one of the best pillows you've ever rested your head on. You pull the covers up over top of yourself. You say goodnight to the others, and you close your eyes. With each breath, your mind begins to wander off, and your muscles begin to relax. You start by focusing on your legs and letting go of all tension from them. You move your mind up to your shoulders and arms, willing them to relax and sink down into the very soft bed. And last, you allow your face to just sort of soften, to relax into a nice half smile. Feeling perfectly comfortable, perfectly content, and perfectly safe, you allow your mind to drift off to thoughts of new dreams and new adventures to come. Good night, everyone.